The FBI is searching for motive in the deadly shooting of 4 Marines. For more on how the FBI is putting together the pieces, we bring in a former executive assistant director at the FBI and current president of CrowdStrike Services, Shawn Henry. So, Shawn, you worked for the FBI for 24 years. What is going on behind the scenes right now?
Well, you know, the FBI right now is working very, very vigilantly to uncover every single thing they can about this man. One of the first things they're looking at is certainly co-conspirators. They want to determine if, in fact, there are any other plots involved, if there is anybody else that may be connected to him that might be able to provide valuable information. And then looking backwards at who he was connected to, where he may have traveled to, what was the motive for this. I know the investigation is still very early, and there are some competing theories about why this was done, certainly looking at him being radicalized through some jihadi effort. But this is still an early ongoing investigation.
Okay, speaking of which, I know investigators scrutinizing travel to Jordan in 2014. Apparently, he spent about 7 months there. Is this a big miss on the part of the FBI?
Well, I don't know that you'd call it a miss. I mean, people travel all the time. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen. There are millions of naturalized U.S. citizens, and they travel periodically back and forth throughout the world. I think the FBI would be looking for some other indicators, and if, in fact, he was on one of the no-fly lists or the watch list based on activities that he may have taken here, based on intelligence that may have been collected elsewhere, then perhaps they would have been watching him. But in terms of monitoring every single person that travels all over the world, you know, that's not being done on a routine basis, absent other intelligence that indicates that there's an issue.
Well, that's a fair point, Shawn. And as we have learned, at least what's been released is that we did not see Abdulaziz on the FBI list. He gave no cause, apparently, at least from what we know now, what's been released now, for worry. So to your point, people travel all the time. What do you make, though, of the job that the FBI now has where, let's just say, spin forward, we do learn, and this is a big supposition, that there were ties to a terrorist organization. What is going to be the learning lesson from this case?
Well, I think that one of the major concerns the FBI has right now is the loss of visibility into some of these activists. So historically, we've looked at these wider-ranging conspiracies where there's been a lot of communication, there's been a lot of contact, and there's been a lot of planning in advance of some attacks. What we're starting to see, and what certain groups like ISIS are promoting, is to fight where you stand, take an action, do something, get a gun, get a knife, take some action to inspire fear into the American psyche, into the American public. I think that with the constant barrage of social media, where you've got people from 6,000 miles away who can literally reach in to people's living rooms here in the United States and send them that message, that's very difficult for the FBI to track day to day, and that's a concern when you see people like this act.
All right, Shawn, thank you so much. Appreciate the insight. You just